Hello everyone and welcome back to another mini tutorial session here on Ghost Paper. For today's video here on Procreate, we're actually going to take a look at how to fill shapes with when you have textures, when these shapes themselves are textural outlines. And that's something very interesting that I got in the comment section of one of my videos. So to illustrate what I'm trying to say, we're just going to use first here a new layer, and I'm going to use my studio brush, which is usually what I use in order to make my designs, and we're just going to fill shapes. So, or fill this shape. So what I'm trying to say is that this is an example that I've actually illustrated many times here on this channel. But what if in your case, in the case that you're doing your illustrations and you're actually using something that looks like, I'm just gonna use in the calligraphy brushes, the shale brush. And just to illustrate, what if your shape that you want to fill actually has a little bit more work on the outlines, like a textural work? So in this case, this is something very interesting. So there are two things to take into account here. The first one is that if you just do color dragging, which you just drag the color onto the inside of your shape, you can see that you get a little bit of like a weird outline or like an artifact around your shape. And that means that your color threshold is actually set too low. So I'm just gonna undo that first. And now let's again drag the color onto the shape. And now as you can see here at the top part of the Procreate UI, you have a bar that says color threshold is at 18.8%. So without letting the pen out of the canvas, do not lift your pen from the canvas. You can now slide it right. And as you slide to the right side, you see that you start to fill in those artifacts. But unfortunately, it is not enough that you can fill everything by just sliding all the way to the right. So this is a little weird, but what you can actually do is that you can drag the color back in. You undo that action and you drag the color back in, and I'll keep sliding right. And you see that the color threshold actually stopped from the point that you ended that first action, and you can keep sliding right, and now we are at 67%, and there's still a little bit of an artifact, but it's almost gone. So I'm just gonna do one more time. And now if we slide all the way to about 93 to 94%, I'm even gonna go higher, to be honest. I might end up here on the 96, 97. And now we have our shape completely filled with no artifacts. As you can see here, it's just the natural edge that comes from this brush. So that is the first thing to take into account. And now I just want to show you one more thing, which is, well, this looks really cool, and you can definitely see that there's an edge here that still has that treatment, that textural treatment. But what if you actually also wanted the inside of the circle to also have a textural look? So that is totally fine. We're just gonna undo all of that, and we're actually gonna use a different layer, and I'm gonna show you what happens, and then I'm gonna show you how you can set that up. So we're going to once again draw our circle made with that shale brush, and now we're gonna throw in our color. And here we go, the texture is already applied. This looks like a much more natural hand-drawn or hand-painted circle. And now you might be wondering, how is this possible? How was the circle filled with a texture already applied to it? Well, this actually goes back to a video that I'll link here on the top right corner of this video, which talks about the different kinds of masks you can create on Procreate. So you can create clipping masks, you can create also layer masks. And this is what I had already set up for this layer. If I turn this off, you can see that we go back to our previous example. So basically what I did here, I'm just going to turn this off and recreate on a new layer. So here's our shale brush, make a circle. I'm gonna drop our color, and now onto this layer, we click and select mask. And now we have a layer mask, which you can paint, or you should at least paint, with full black in order to obscure things, or full white in order to reveal things. So you can go with gray, but gray is only going to obscure things or reveal things about 50% of the way. So let's go into the blacks, and now we're going to select another brush here, and I might just go with something in the charcoals brush, and I'm just gonna paint it. And as you can see, I just create, I've also, just in case you guys need to know, I've lowered the opacity to almost nothing and increased the size to almost the maximum size, just so we can get like a nice shading onto the sphere onto the inside, just to show you the difference. If I had all the way to 100%, I'd be almost erasing this whole sphere. So we just want to give that like small like textural look, something that looks really nice, but a bit more on the subtle side. So that's why I've lowered the opacity almost all the way down. So here, basically, this is the technique, is just using a layer mask. You can set it up, that layer mask, before or after you're actually done filling up these shapes. It's totally up to you. But this is a quick way to actually have a textural outline and a textural fill as you use color dragging, which really, really helps in order for you to save time as you create your illustrations. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, a like would be super appreciated, as well as make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and the bell notification icon so you don't miss any tips and tricks, reviews, and speed paint videos. And that is all for you to become a better digital illustrator. Also, on the right side of the video here, if you want to keep learning about clipping masks and layer masks, there's a video that I highly, highly recommend you to watch in order to expand your skills and your knowledge as you create art in Procreate. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Ciao.